already discussed my different stages of coming through and putting all this stuff together. And what we want to do first is discuss the rules right out of good old guidance physiology here. My textbook from college. What are the rules to health? I had to find these, basically go back to college to look the rules up again after I developed the natural healing paradigm, which we'll get into last here. But the rules, out of the textbooks, first thing we need is a definition of health. Okay, what is the definition of health? And I asked a lot of people this, I asked a lot of medical doctors, I asked a lot of natural healers, Schultz, the big boys in natural healing. What's the definition of health anyway? And I got a lot of answers, and there were a lot of long, 2-3 paragraph answers. It's the homeostatic condition of the body while it's operating at full capacity, stuff like that. But the definition of health really comes down to 2 words. Designed function. Designed function. Designed function. If every cell in your body is running the way it was designed to run, you have to be healthy. Now, for study purposes, to get into guidance physiology and what he does, bodies are broken down into systems. Of course, you know that, everybody knows that. You got the cardiovascular system, respiratory system, the digestive system, reproductive, immune system, nervous system. The body is broken down for study purposes into systems. Now, really, all these systems work together, so it's not really physiologically possible to break them apart. But for study purposes, we have to do that. When all these systems are broken down into organs and glands, they all have organs and glands in them. Now, the organs and glands can further be broken down into cellular, every cell. And it can be deduced from there and right out of the physiology books. If every cell is capable of and indeed performing its designed function, you will be healthy. It's that simple. So there's the definition of health. Designed function. It's easy, it's simple. It's not some complicated 2-3 paragraph long situation that you have to memorize. Designed function, and that's what we're trying to get to. On a cellular level, again, this is guidance physiology, the cell has 4 requirements to be healthy. And these are requirements. You lose one or more of these requirements and you get sick. And that is literally what causes diseases. So, what's the first requirement a cell has to be healthy? The first requirement, it's communication. And I'm just going to put COMM up here. Communication. That's the first requirement. Every cell in your body has to be able to communicate with every other cell. Now, can you sleep through a thunderstorm? I can sleep through a thunderstorm, but I can't sleep through a mosquito. Okay, why? Because the cell down on my big toe where the mosquito land is connected to the rest of me, and I have to wake up and swat the mosquito. See, everything is connected. You go out for a jog, out for a run. You're out there running. Well, the muscles send the message to the brain, well, hey, look, we need more oxygen down here. The liver has to shut down all digestion. It has to get some sugar down to the muscles. Heartbeat increases, respiratory rate increases. That's communication, the communication factors. That's the first consideration, and that's the first requirement of cellular function. And of course, it's your nervous system that does that. Now, the second requirement, and these are requirements. These are things the cell absolutely has to have in order for it to be healthy. The second requirement is it has to have a clean environment. It has to have a clean environment to live in. Now, this should be pretty easy for you to figure out. You got the EPA in society. Why did they come up with the EPA? Why did the government do that? Well, I live in the Great Lakes region. This is coming from Michigan. And I was born and raised in Western New York, so I've lived in the Great Lake region my whole life. And back in the 50s and 60s, the Great Lakes were almost dead. Matter of fact, I think it was Lake Erie did die. No fish in it, no plant life or anything else. So they formed the Environmental Protection Agency. Why? To clean up the environment. Why was that necessary? So life could come back. Well, your cells have the same requirement. They need to have a clean environment to live in. Okay? So you have to turn out to be your own EPA agent. You're going to have to do some studying. You're going to have to find out what the chemicals are. What are they putting in the water? What's in the vaccinations? What's in the prescription drugs? What's in the food? Okay? It's important. This is the biggest single cause of disease right now on the planet. It used to be digestive disorders. It's not anymore. It's chemical poisoning. Those chemical poisonings pollute the cellular environment, and you get sick. And it happens every time. I did the Vietnam thing. We were drinking Agent Orange out of the jungle streams. Yeah, I got sick, and I got real sick. And it wasn't a fun trip to come back from. So that's the second rule of cellular, the cell has. It has to have communication. All the cells have to be able to communicate with each other. And it has to have a clean environment to live in. What's the third rule? The third rule is food. It needs some nutrition, folks. Food, good old food, and it has to be food. It can't be this crap they're feeding you nowadays, okay? I read an article the other day about breakfast cereal. It had 51 different ingredients in it, and it was called all natural. So you're going to have to do some studying. You're going to have to find out what they're putting in your food nowadays. Now, what's the definition of food? And we have I do a radio show with a buddy of mine, and we got a big laugh at it. They teased me about it for a while. But what's the definition of food? Something that's been recently alive. That's it. Now that's out of the physiology book. That's what Dr. Guyton says. The body can only use something that's been recently alive. It can't use petroleum distillates. It can't use dirt, sand, whatever. It can't have it. It has to be food, and the definition of food is something that's been recently alive. Now, if you can put that into your life, if you can really grab a hold of that and live it, that automatically takes care of number two there. Because you will no longer put garbage into your body. Okay, you will automatically keep the cellular environment clean. So it's pretty important. Matter of fact, nowadays it's more important to find out what not to eat than it is what to eat. Okay? Cellular requirements. Communication, clean environment to live in. Got to have food. What's the fourth requirement? And I used to ask all my senior patients, what's the key to your longevity? Anybody over 80, I would ask this question to, and I've been doing this for years. And I always got two answers to that. Well, they gave a lot of answers, but all of them, everybody I asked had two answers. And they said, don't take any drugs and stay active. Not only physically active, but mentally active. Stay interested in life. Okay? Now that's on a cellular level. You couch potatoes are going to have to get off the couch. You're going to have to do some exercise. You're going to have to get out and get active. And you're going to have to mentally stay interested in living life. If you're not, you're on your way out. Okay? So this is part one of the paradigm shift in healthcare. The rules out of the textbooks, out of Mr. Guyton's book. I mean, these some of the smartest people in the world are writing these books. This is the science that dictates scientific. Okay, this is what they rely on. The rules, design, function. Every cell in your body, if it's doing what it was designed to do, you're going to be healthy. What are the requirements for cellular health? Communication, clean environment to live in, food. You have to have some food, something that's been recently alive. And you got to stay active. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I want you to go to my website. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I want you to buy my book, The Paradigm Shift in Healthcare. Thank you for watching. We're going to part 3.